one take, one shot SmackDown review where I do it all in one take, one shot, and boy howdy was this, they had one shot at making SummerSlam way more interesting than it was with this SmackDown because this was the go-home show and they did. Holy cow, they did. And it centers around this title right here, the undisputed title, in which John Cena, he comes out, right? He comes out to the fanfare of John Cena sucks, John Cena sucks, and then he makes the announcer, he points the announcer, he makes the announcer say everything, and then as he's about to speak, Cody Rhodes comes out. Whoa, whoa. And then Cody is about to speak, but John stops him. And it's like, John then says, he sets it up like he's a bad guy. I told you I was tired. I told you I couldn't do this. You forged my signature. You did this. You did that. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for making me... for reminding me who I was. And I was like, wait a second. And slowly but surely, that monotone, that whatever John Cena was, like how he was been talking lately, looking down, kind of not making eye contact, slowly but surely, as John talked, it went away. And a familiar voice was heard. And that was the John Cena of yesteryear, the John Cena that we've known and loved for many, many moons. John Cena literally turned face in the middle of his promo saying how he doesn't want to ruin wrestling, guys. He's sorry. He's not going to be, he fell for the idea of a moment that when was all said and done, everybody bounced, everybody left. That's The Rock and Travis Scott. He even brought up Travis Scott. He said the only platinum rapper that's going to be there at SummerSlam is John Cena. He said, I want to take this belt home, not because I want to ruin wrestling, because I want to be remembered. And holy cow, I gotta say, I've already seen some backlash online, people saying that should have happened at SummerSlam, but I honestly, I love this. I love this because now we get to cheer John Cena going in. We don't have too many moments left. We really don't. We don't have too many opportunities left to just cheer the dude. And now we get to cheer him going into SummerSlam. And I know, he's probably suckering us in. He's probably honestly suckering us in, and he's actually a heel, and he's going to hit Cody with this belt at SummerSlam, but I don't care. I'm choosing to believe that there is good in this world, and John Cena is good. I mean, when he went back, he even clapped the hands of the fans. I love that. Even Cody was like, he was smiling. He was smiling that we got John back. I think the only thing he really said was welcome back, and then he got a couple beers, and they cheers each other. And, for a second, I thought there was going to be a Stone Cold Stunner, but I'm glad there wasn't because John's back. John is back, and I will fully admit that I was one of the dudes saying, John's, let's go Cena. Cena sucks. WrestleMania 23. I was a Cena sucks guy. All right. I was a guy that wanted the heel turn all these years. 2013. Let's turn him heel. But there came a point when I'm just like, yeah, I like John. I like John. I respect John. He's given so much. And when he turned heel, I'm not gonna lie, there was a couple good moments. Saying that Randy Orton was gonna be just like his 2007-8 drug test, a failure. That was great. That was awesome. The pipe bomb, when he reenacted the pipe bomb, that was great. That was awesome. But there was still, I just want to cheer the guy. Not only do I want to cheer the guy, but I want to hear everybody in the whole world cheering the guy. Just the bitter people in the corner not cheering him, And that's what I wanted. That's what I'd love to see. Let's give John the flowers. Let's not just give John flowers. Let's give him the whole freaking garden. Let him walk into SummerSlam being cheered. And I'm afraid it's all a ruse. I really am. But, for the next 48 hours, I'm going to believe that there's good in the world, and there's good in John Cena. John Cena is the good that is in this world, and I hope I hope and I pray that if it's all a ruse right now and they're planning on swerving us, I hope they change their mind. I really do. Triple H, change your mind. Keep him a face. Keep him a face. Let John Cena, like, at this point, John Cena can retire with this belt. I don't care. He can, and I'll always remember you, John, because you're a GOAT, man. You're a GOAT. And so I really hope that John Cena gets to retire with this belt, and I hope you get to win this belt on my shoulder. I'm going to give it away. I'm going to give it away at 20,000 subscribers. Now, this is the contest part of the show. I will give away a belt at 20,000 subscribers in my quest to quit my day job. How do you win? Well, you don't need to turn heel and then back to face. All you got to do is comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, ding, ding, ding notification, and you can quit. Not a toy, a replica. You can win, and I can quit the day job. Gotta quit the day job. Please help me quit that day job, or I'll get fired soon, and I won't have a roof over my head. But if I keep my cell phone, I can at least do. Let's not go that route. All right. So that was the opening of SmackDown. They really should have ended SmackDown with this. It really should have, because, like, careful what you ask for. Excuse me. One take, one shot. We always say too many commercials, and so they went right into the next segment. But I'll tell you what, I could have used a commercial right there to just really process everything that happened, because I'm just like, wait a second. We went from John Cena heel turn to John Cena face turn, and it's like, whoa, like, I probably need to do a whole video on that. And the fact of the matter, I believe that it was all because of WWE Unreal. I bet they turned John face so they had stuff for Unreal, and then now that Unreal had been, like, exposed and whatever, they were like, we can turn him back, but who cares? Who cares? Let's not even focus on that. Let's focus on that John's back. And I could have used some time to digest it, but I wasn't given any, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but we went right into that, to a segment with, like, it was a pre-recorded segment. Jelly Roll, he's, like, training, and then Logan Paul comes in, and, like, this is, like, not even in the arena. This is, like, a pre-taped for somewhere. They're, like, in a garage or something, and then Jelly Roll is training with some guys. Logan Paul comes in, they talk some smack to each other. Logan gets in, they start kind of fighting. Logan Paul kind of is starting to lose the fight, but then Drew comes. Drew attacks. Claymore kick to Jelly Roll. They laugh. They say, peace out. We'll be back later tonight. Now, that's why I think they didn't put the segments around, because the main event segment should have been first, and the first segment of John turning back to a face should have been last. But I think because they had two segments with Jelly Roll, that they needed to do it that way, because they needed this segment first of Jelly Roll getting beat up, so they can then go later. I still kind of think they should have done that, though. I think the Jelly Roll segment could have gone before. Maybe we could have just opened up. Maybe we should have just opened up with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Damian Priest and Aleister Black. That's probably what they should have done. That's what they should have done. Aleister Black, Damian Priest in the beginning, and then have the segments, one segment right before John. Yeah, it would have been two talking segments in a row, but who cares? Who cares? Maybe Zelina Vega could have been in the middle of that. Regardless, who cares? Whatever. So then we do Julia and Zelina Vega. And that's a very good match. It was a very good match. I think there was only one, like, kind of iffy spot. There was also, like, the sequence where I for sure thought Zelina was going to lose, and when she didn't, I started thinking, are they going to let her win? Are they going to let her beat Julia? And then, nope. She just lost, so Julia is your champion still. We have Solo gets interviewed when he has his whole My Family tree and he's trying to be mafia. He's not as funny, and it's like there's two Solos. There's the one that tries to be super serious, and then there's the goofy one. I love the goofy one, right? I like the mafia boss Solo, but the goofy one is the one that I really enjoy. And this one was a little bit of both. When who was it? Jackie Redmond or Kathy? She said, your big brother. And he's like, little big brother. So that's kind of funny, little big brother. And then when he's leaving, he did say, you know what I mean? When he's leaving, and she was like, no, I don't know what he means. And then you can hear in the distance, yeah, you do. So that's the Solo. That's the goofy Solo that I like and love. Then we have an El Gato del Fantasmo open challenge. I guess they are the AAA Tag Team Champions. Never want to hear you say that AEW has too many belts before you acknowledge that WWE excuse me, the WWE has too many belts. I mean, right now, how many belts do we have right now? We got the NXT belts, we have the TNA belts, we have the excuse me, the heavyweight, the mid card, the tag team divisions for both men and women on brands. So it's like, okay, let's relax here, guys. Let's relax here. But we have also, they come out, they'll face me out. Felt Phantasmal. They have a open challenge. It would have been kind of cool if the Wyatts had come out and done and attacked and won, and then they put the belts on the ladder match, the TLC, and Elgato is inserted into that, trying to get their AAA titles back. But no, we get the introduction to Mr. Iguana. It's an iguana. That's what one of my favorite Wrestle Talk, Ollie Davis says. But it's an iguana. He says that, and then you have Psycho Clown. I like that Psycho Clown. He tears off his mask, and then there's just another mask. That's kind of cool. Like, I don't know why that's cool. I like unique things, and that's unique. The match was decent enough. Now, there were some botches. There was some obvious botches. Now, I'm going to say this. On one hand, I'm going to make an excuse, and the other hand, I'm going to also acknowledge that maybe they should practice and not have botches. But I do feel that, on one hand, it's your debut, and you probably been dreaming to come to WWE forever, so, like, you could be a little nervous. Also, you're used to a different ring. The WWE ring is way different than the AAA ring, so that could also be. I do get, though, that mistakes, I understand that they happen. Now, I would say if these mistakes continue to happen after 3 matches, then there's an issue. Right now, I'm going to be very forgiving, and I liked it. And it was an introduction to Mr. Iguana, and the Iguana definitely got the chant. Iguana. El Del Fantasma, they do win, though, and they keep the titles. I heard that Psycho Clown is basically Mexican royalty. His family's Mexican royalty. I don't know much about him, though. I don't know much about AAA. I'm not going to lie. Then we go to a highlight reel of the tag team division, which was cool. Everybody got a highlight. I wish during the highlight reel, they would have let the teams talk over their highlights, though, kind of like saying how they're going to win and how much this means to them. So it could have been just a little more impactful, but still good overall. By the way, 4 yawns. Only 4 yawns. And honestly, only 6 commercials. Now, they did say it was going to be a very limited commercial SmackDown because it was being brought to you by Jimmy John's. So they kept like kind of shoving Jimmy John's in our face, but they didn't do it in a bad way. It was like kind of good marketing where, like, Jimmy Uso, he walks in, he sees a sandwich, he grabs it, and he, that's it. So, like, I'm okay with that kind of marketing. I understand you do have to pay the bills. It's just, there's a difference between keeping the lights on and making your swimming pool bigger. And these were good, keeping the lights on and maybe a little bit of profit also kind of commercials. How many chops? I'm going to give it, 8 chops. Maybe 9. I'll decide on the end. But if I forget, then 8 or 9 chops. We got, then the highlight reel is over with the tag team division. I know I go all over the place. I have ADHD, probably. I don't know. You get to a point when you're an adult, it's like, it doesn't matter anymore. Plus, you're always on, like, devices, so I think everybody probably has ADHD anymore because of how, like, we're just, like, constantly 24 hours just bombarded with information, and I don't know where I'm going with that. That's my TED Talk. So then we have Priest versus Black. Aleister Black versus Damian Priest. They fight some more, fight. And then it's a decent match, but it ends with Aleister Black just chucking a chair into the face of Damian Priest. And I was surprised that he actually got, like, straight up, it was a chair shot to the head. He threw it and it hit his head. And I didn't pick this up last week, but if you go, they did a highlight of last week later on, and it showed that Jacob Fatu threw a chair and it hit JC Mateo. Hate that name, but it hit him directly in the face as well. So are we allowed chair shots if we throw the chair? I guess. So the Aleister Black, Damian Priest stuff, Damian Priest is down, and Aleister Black just continues to beat him up, beat him down. This is what we needed. Damian Priest needs to get some sympathy from a beatdown, and Aleister Black needs to get some heat from doing a beatdown. We will see where this goes. So far, it's better than Sheamus and Rusev, but, not by much. If Sheamus and Rusev was a 1, this is a 3. So we need to do more. We need to do more to get this. Maybe a 4 out of 10, but we need to get it. We need to get more heat on this. And it's hard because where does Aleister Black go from here? We need to start hiring jobbers, and I don't consider Carmelo Hayes a jobber. Thank you very much. We need to start getting some jobbers on the playing field. Hire like 4 more guys. But don't call up Trick and Oba and make them jobbers. Okay, you've been warned. Then we go to Tonga versus Jimmy Uso. This is Tonga's first official match. I don't know if they aired the main event match, but it's his first official match on SmackDown at least. And Tonga will win. He wins with Jimmy comes off the top rope and he grabs him. Tonga's a tall guy, very tall guy, and he grabs him and he choke slams him. Then they go to do a beatdown. They start to lower the cage, and Jacob Fatu comes out. I was a little worried it was going to be 4-on-1 and Jacob was still going to win, but no. Solo and Tala, they hightailed it out of there. So Jacob Fatu beat up JC Mateo, hate that name, and Tonga Loa. We all know Tonga Loa was holding back. Tonga Loa has to hold back because if he didn't, he would bury the entire roster. So let's just be happy that Tonga Loa is so gracious and great and just an awesome dude, allowing Jacob Fatu to get the moves. And Jacob beats up everybody at that point, which is fine, which is whatever. And Solo is like, hold me back, and Tonga has to hold him back, and we know that, it's a farce and it's funny. It's Solo Sikoa being hilarious. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, they have a backstage segment about how they're not friends, but obviously they are friends, and we'll wait till after the PLE to get some labels. We'll see what happens there. I hope they don't break up. At the very least, I know this will eventually lead to a breakup, but, we can milk this a little longer. The crowds are loving them. The crowds are wooing or booing. They're wooing. So, this is working. This has worked. And what's Alexa Bliss going to do anyways? I did a video on the Patreon. It's a Patreon exclusive, how to ruin SummerSlam, and I actually have a way to ruin SummerSlam with their match, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte versus Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. I don't know why those names are so hard for me. But yeah, if you want to check that out, go join the Patreon. Then we have Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. They come out. Logan Paul cut a really good promo. I love that he's the gatekeeper. The funniest thing is, he said, "Shut up, green shirt guy. You're just as bad, or you're the worst of all of them." That was cool. That was like the WWE universe. Green shirt guy is now officially canon in WWE storylines. And then the other funny line was, Logan Paul said that Jelly Roll thought SummerSlam was a hot dog eating contest. I can just imagine Jelly Roll walking down. He just got out of a concert, and he's like, "SummerSlam? Ooh, I can eat some hot dogs." Signs up. And then he shows up with a bib, and he's like, "What the heck?" And Randy Orton's like, hey, my kid listens to your music. That's how they all, that's in my mind, since they never explained how Randy Orton and Jelly Roll got together. That's how now my headcanon is, how they got together. Anyways, it all ends with, they're just making fun of Jelly Roll. Basically making fun of Jelly Roll, and then the car comes in the back, it stops, it's Jelly Roll, and we think, oh, it's only Jelly Roll, but then he hits the hood, and out comes Randy Orton. Basically, then we go into the ring, and we have a big old fight. Nick Aldis does try to stop him. Nobody listens. He throws a bunch of security guard. I don't think this was a good look, because I thought for a second, the way they set it up, it looked like Jelly Roll was going to do like a suicide dive or a plancha jump over the top rope. For real, that's how they made it look. And that would have actually made me a little more hopeful for this match. But instead, they just made it set up where 2 RKOs were given and 1 chokeslam by Jelly Roll. Since I already knew he could do the chokeslam, it's like him doing punches. It's just, I don't know. For the final segment before SmackDown, I just don't think this was a good look. It wasn't horrible for a celebrity match, but at the same time, the way they set it up, it was a little poor. They shouldn't have had Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre on the outside for so long because it definitely looked like Jelly Roll was going to jump, and that was a letdown. So, but not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. Just could have been better. So, I'm going to do 8, but that opening segment was a 10. That opening segment was a 10. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Chops! And 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. If you want to give it a 9, I totally understand that opening segment might have carried it to a 9. But I'm just going to play it safe. Play it safe with 8 because I thought we were going to get a jelly jump. Jelly jump. All right, so there you go. We got SmackDown tomorrow. Not SmackDown, SummerSlam. SummerSlam night 1. SummerSlam night 2. We're going to do hot takes. Hot takes tomorrow. Hot takes the next day. Hot takes the next day. Hot takes the next day. A lot of hot takes. Hope you like the hot takes. Hopefully, give me some hot takes. I would appreciate some hot takes. And boys, girls, my hot take is that you're awesome. Now, that's a cold take because we all knew you were awesome. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.